More SEC football talk here on Southeastern 14. So glad you're joining us today. We're going to start a new series, 3 breakout players from each SEC team. We're going to start with the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll dive into that today. But first, I want to remind you about BetOnline, your number one source for all of your summer sports this season, from MLB to golf to NBA and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats, news, scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet online, where the game starts. So here we go, 3 breakout players for the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, this is a very important season for Oklahoma. Obviously, you're joining the premier conference in college football. It's a chance to make a meaningful first impression as you begin playing SEC football. I really do think that this could be Oklahoma can be a team that is in contention for the SEC year in and year out. So many good players have played in this Oklahoma program, and there's several this year that I think need to have a breakout season to be successful, to win games. Again, I could name a number of players that I think need to have a good year for Oklahoma, but this is just 3 that I've come up with. I think need to have great seasons to help the Sooners be successful. So to start with, I want to start with a guy on defense, Peyton Bowen, safety for the Sooners. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. He will be a sophomore. He put up some good numbers last year in his freshman season with the Sooners, 36 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack. He had 5 pass breakups, and he played in all 13 games. But his role, and that safety role, is going to be much bigger for Oklahoma this year. They lost Reggie Pearson, and they lost Key Lawrence. Both of those guys no longer there in Oklahoma. And so they're going to need somebody to step up. Could it be Peyton Bowen? He's going to be up against some guys who are also contending for this spot. But I think no matter whether he's in the strong safety spot or wherever they put him, I think he needs to have a big year. He needs to have a breakout season. And he is going to help the Sooners no matter what. I think new defensive coordinator Zach Alley brings a much more aggressive style of defense. And I think that really fits Peyton Bowen. If you go back and look at some clips from last year and some of the games from Oklahoma, just the way Bowen plays and the way he stands out, I think is he's very aggressive. He's very quick. And I think so he fits this Zach Alley style of defense that I think is going to play definitely in the hands of Peyton Bowen. So I think he needs to have a breakout year. He had a good spring, and I think they're excited about his potential. And so I think to help this defense of Oklahoma, I think Peyton Bowen needs to have a breakout year. Now, this sounds cliche, but I think Jackson Arnold, the quarterback, needs to have a breakout year. Look, he's got a great arm. He's got great strength. He moves well. You think back to the Alamo Bowl, it's where he got his first start last year, and he had 4 turnovers. So I think that may kind of turn him off to a lot of people, but I think he really is a good quarterback. He's been able to develop under a good quarterback as Dillon Gabriel, who's transferred to Oregon. And now Arnold has his chance to be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma, which is a big deal. I mean, you think about the quarterbacks that have been produced there at Oklahoma. You know, Sam Bradford is a guy you may think of course, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams played there for a time, and you can look up and down and see so many great quarterbacks at Oklahoma, and I think Jackson Arnold has a chance to be one that we're talking about for a long time. I really do. And he's going to need to have a great season leading the offense. I mean, you're going into a new conference, you're playing a tough schedule. I mean, they had no breaks in the schedule, in the SEC schedule. So it's a very tough schedule. You're going to need to be able to put up a lot of big plays. You're going to be able to score the football in a schedule in the SEC. And I think Jackson Arnold can be the guy to do that, but he has got to have a breakout season. This is one of the most important years of Oklahoma football. You're joining, again, the premier conference in college football. And I'm not going to say that the season solely relies on what Jackson Arnold does, but he's going to be a big part of it as the leader of the offense. And so I think he can. He has the potential to have a big breakout year, and he's going to need to do that this year for the Oklahoma Sooners. So Jackson Arnold, the quarterback for Oklahoma, definitely needing to have a breakout year. And also wide receiver transfer Dion Burks. He was a Purdue Boilermaker last season and has transferred to Oklahoma. We saw a lot of potential from him in the spring game, but we need to see him in a real game situation. And I think he has to have a breakout year this year. There has to be really a go-to at receiver for Jackson Arnold. We mentioned Jackson Arnold needing a breakout year. Well, in order to do that, he needs somebody to throw it to, and Dion Burks needs to be that guy. He is a very talented receiver. He has great hands. He makes good decisions when he has the football. And so I think it's going to be important for him to be one of the top targets, for him to be the guy that Jackson Arnold can go to. He has to have a breakout year. He has to put up some big numbers, be that leader in the wide receiver core. And they need some other guys to step up at receiver as well. But I think it's going to be important with his style of play, with the style of offense for Jackson Arnold to be able to lean on a guy like Dion Burks. Again, they looked great together in the spring game, but they're going to have to be on the same page as we get ready for the regular season, and they're going to have to be the leaders of this offense. But those would be the three guys at this point I would say need to have breakout seasons. Peyton Bowen, safety for the Sooners, Jackson Arnold, quarterback, and Dion Burks, the transfer wide receiver. Again, this is just three players. I mentioned there are numerous guys I could have added to this list, but these are three for the Sooners that I think need to have a breakout year in their opening year here in the Southeastern Conference. We'll be breaking down all of these the three breakout players for each SEC team. So keep it locked in right here on the Southeastern 14 YouTube channel for great SEC content daily. Remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and spread the word about Southeastern 14.